In this video, we'll be showing you how to execute a Fivetran sync, then download a query from BigQuery as a CSV. Let's dive in. So we're going to start this video inside of Fivetran, just showing off the connector that we're going to sync inside of Shipyard. So we're going to work with this Google Sheets solution video test here connector. So let's jump into Shipyard and start and learn how we can start that sync inside of Shipyard. So I'm going to search for our Fivetran blueprints here. And so we will do our execute sync. So when I click on that, it's going to create a vessel, as you can see over here in the fleet builder. But it's also going to pop up this where you can go to our authorization guide that'll show you how to get your API key and API secret that we'll input in just a second. I'm going to close that for right now. Rename our vessel to execute sync. Our API key and API secrets, I'll copy and paste those in. And then our connector also from Fivetran, we'll paste that in there as well. So for each vessel inside of Shipyard, you can set up notifications, email notifications to be sent if an error occurs or after a completed on-demand run if you'd like. And then you can also set up guardrails for number of retries, time between retries, and runtime cutoff as well. So now that that's set up and ready to go, now we need to go back and create another Fivetran vessel here that's going to check our sync status. So what this one's going to do is it's going to go back into Fivetran, and it's going to check to see if the sync is completed so we can go to our downstream processes. So check sync status, API key, API secrets. I can leave my connector ID blank because we're going to connect it to the execute sync. So pull it up there, connect those together, change our guardrails here a little bit to make the process go a little bit smoother. And so now we have our Fivetran. So now our sync started, and now we checked our sync status. So as soon as it finishes, now we can go to our downstream process inside of BigQuery. So we're going to search for our BigQuery blueprints, and then we're going to store query results as a CSV. Pull that in there. So store query results as CSV. We can name that vessel. Our query, I'm going to grab a test query or a sample query that we have for BigQuery. Our file name, we can do just test.csv. You can obviously name that whatever you want to whenever you're doing this in production. And then lastly, we're going to need a service account for BigQuery. So I'll paste that in there and then connect those together. So now our full fleet's ready to go. So the last thing we want to do before we run it is we want to name our fleet. So we can name this Fivetran to BigQuery. Okay. So now our fleet's ready to go, so we can click Save and Finish. So this is going to take us to a page that's going to say that the fleet is created successfully. There it is. And then we can now click Run Your Fleet to begin an on-demand run. So I'm going to do that. And it's going to take us over to our fleet log page. It's going to show the fleet as it's running. So while it's doing that and while it's loading, you can kick off your fleet in multiple ways. So we can do an on-demand run like we just did. We also have triggers that you can use as well. So we have triggers that are based on scheduling. So you can schedule based on the hour, the week, the day, the month if you'd like. And then we also have webhook APIs that you can also call on to kick fleets off from external software or just from a Python call as well. So you can see inside of this fleet log, you can see our fleets our vessels are already starting to run. And so our execute sync has already started here, has already finished. And you can see if I click into that, it's going to show the output here. And it says that the sync has successfully triggered for that connector. So that's good. So that's off and running. And I can even go back into Fivetran and refresh this page. And it's going to show down here that it's going to show here that it's syncing data. So now this check sync status is just going to go. It's going to go to Fivetran, check and see is it finished, yes or no, return, and it's going to keep going until Fivetran either sends an error so that the sync errored out, or it's going to come back as complete. And so you're going to see this bar continually go from this yellow to red, and then yellow to red, or then like yellow to green as it's finished. So you see it just went yellow to red again. So the sync is not finished yet. So we'll just allow that to continue going until it finishes, until the downstream processes can start. Okay, so we can see that check sync status just finished up here. So it just turned green. So now that means that the Fivetran sync has completed. And so now we can get into our third vessel here, the store query results as a CSV. So you can see that one is now started. And we can even click into that as well and see what's happening in it as it goes. So as this fleet runs, the output that we'll see that we saw on the first vessel that was completed, we saw that was already done. And so now you can see that this vessel is completed here. You can see the variables that we set with our inputs. And then you can see that the file has successfully stored the query results to test.csv. So now that file would be in Shipyard, so that it would allow you to send that to a cloud data storage such as Dropbox or Google Drive, or any of the myriad of options that we have in Shipyard to store. You could also send that as an email or a Slack. Check our YouTube channel. We have videos showing you how you can do that as well. So again, in this video, we showed how you can start a connector sync inside of Fivetran, and then take a query inside of BigQuery and store it as a CSV. If you have any questions about this solution or any other potential solution, use the link in the description to set up a time to chat with our team of data experts. You can go to shipyardapp.com to start building powerful workflows just like this for free. Want to see us tackle more solutions? Check out these related videos.